heard like the biggest lever pretty much is developing relationships, whether it's with the account managers or HR, whoever is causing the biggest problem at the time, or whoever can help solve a problem at the time.
Your success in the management role is totally predicated on the amount of support you're going to get, right? I mean, I think it starts with you making a choice about where you're spending your time. If you want to be an administrative manager, like you're essentially choosing that's going to be the thing that you want to do. If you don't want to do that, you absolutely have the ability to choose and say, you know what, guys, your expense report's going to get approved at the end of every week or at the end of every 2 weeks, or like, I'm going to spend 2 hours a month doing that stuff. That's not what I want to do. But that doesn't work unless you have the support of your manager, of HR, of the sales team that you're working with, right? I mean, I think as an SE manager, you learn really quickly that sales a lot of times has more power over what you do than your own manager does, because then at the end of the day, like, they're your customer. That's who needs to be happy. So that's where that's why, to me, it made sense. Like, that's the first relationship that I need to build and make good, is make sure that I know what the sales guys want and how to make them happy. Otherwise, I just, I won't be successful, because those guys will push me out and go find somebody else.
So sometimes I find like it's not necessarily the best candidate for SE managers that become the managers, but those who have been there for a while or are good SEs, and which leads to them becoming SE managers and then just falling into the trap of becoming what did we call it? Like, just paper pushers at that point, because
admins,
they're admins, they're overwhelmed, and they don't even have the time to self-reflect and figure out like, oh crap, I need to do this better. And most companies, I would hope they have a senior manager who would be able to help them. But what would be your suggestion to those who are in that position and they feel like they're on their own?
Yeah, look, man, that's tough, period. If you're in a situation where you want to be more than just an expense report approver, but you don't really have a support structure around you from your management and sales and HR and all that to do that, it's a tough spot to be in. I mean, you can certainly self-educate. There's a lot of great books. There are a lot of great resources. There are people like you. There are people like, Chris and me and Pre-Sales Collective and all that. Like, so you can go and help yourself out. But at the end of the day, you have to realize, in a situation where you don't have management support or sales support, it's a very short road.
Yeah, I like that. Like, I was talking to someone today who I think would be the first SE leader within her organization, and she doesn't have anybody internally to talk to, so she went and talked to a lot of people externally. And like, it's a community now, where we're not just a separate bunch of people.
Yeah,
it's a community. We're about to move to the not so fire round. Rob, I wanted to give you the chance to either like add on to what Bill said, or take us off on another tangent. Doesn't really matter. Just, this is your opportunity to say whatever it is that you want.
No, yeah, you touched on it with your person within your organization. Actually, that leadership role can be quite a lonely place, especially if you've risen up through your own organization and become put in that place, because at the end of the day, you've got to change and evolve from being, or I wouldn't say evolve even, but change from being in amongst all of your friends, the people that you've had those battles with, and you've got to start thinking further ahead in the future. You've got to start thinking about things that are slightly wider than just the day-to-day you had before, and you have to actually be equitable across your whole team. You have to think about opportunities, especially if it's a global role, opportunities around the globe, whereas your view was a lot narrower before. And if you have not got that strong base where you can learn and grow and learn from other leaders, whether it's your manager or another manager in another part of the organization, you're almost reinventing the wheel and figuring things out for yourself all the time, and you don't even know, you're second guessing yourself every other day, and that is a quite a hard place to be. And we are fortunate, right? We do have great resources, great communities in things, as Bill said, the pre-sales collective. There are leadership groups as well that have formed up. So if anyone does hear this and feels like they're in that situation where they're pushing paper, no one's listening, they're sort of not with the people that they grew up with in the company, and but they don't fit anywhere else either, then let's have that sort of conversation. Hopefully that, you know, resonates with some people, and we can have some consensus of what steps to take, because it will vary from organization to organization.